Okay, tell me when to go.
Yeah.
Delambora production. Sorry, okay. Whenever, what's up? This is Jesse Barnett, and you're watching, and I'm on. Okay, what's up? This is Jesse Barnett. Okay. What's up? This is Jesse Barnett, and I'm on Delambora Productions.
Trade one? Talking about? Tom and I were on tour together one time. We were in Worcester, Massachusetts. That's a city outside of Boston.
All right.
And our bands, Straight from the Path and Stick to Your Guns, were touring together. And I think he has a better memory of the conversation. I don't really remember how the conversation went, but it's pretty much like, hey, we should start another band because we both have other musical interests that we liked, and we're just like, yeah, we should try something new. And you know, when you go on tour with other bands and you find people you like, and that's always a conversation. It's, oh, we should do something together. We should, and it never really happened. Meeting Tom through touring together for so many years, we just decided that we wanted to do another band together, and a lot of people talk about doing other projects together, but it never really happens. Then one day I just got an email from Tom with a song idea in it, and then I sent him a song idea back, and that was just through email for the first little while, and then we decided to go into the studio in New Jersey for 4 days, and we recorded the first EP.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It just kind of just happened. I don't know. Yeah. I wish there was a better story, but that's it.
Oh, that's all right.
Just try to fuck with me.
I mean, it's evolving. It's ever evolving, and I think that when we first started, it was meant to be a bit of like a heavier project, and then you look at what it is now, and it's not so much that. But yeah, I don't know. I think that when you have a band like Stick to Your Guns, there's a certain ceiling that you go to with as far as like what you're willing or even want to experiment with. So there's only certain, there's certain elements that you're gonna add. Like you're never gonna have a fucking banjo in Stick to Your Guns, whereas with Tradewin, you might, you know what I mean? Like, and so I think those are the two differences between the two bands. Is like with Tradewin, there's such a higher ceiling as far as musical expression goes, and solely musical expression, and so I think that's why every record will, I think so long as I'm singing over it, it's gonna sound like a Tradewin song, but we are always trying to do new things, and yeah, I mean that's the same story of every band. It's wanting to just try new stuff and express yourselves in new ways. Well, everyone brings their specific skill, definitely. I mean, I would say that my specific skill would be the vocal part as opposed to the guitar part, because I say this every night on stage, but there's a difference between a guitarist, like a guitar player, and a person who plays guitar.
Yeah,
the difference is one is good and one is not. And I'm not a good guitar player, so I'm just a guy who can play guitar. Right, exactly. I can do it, but I don't do it. You know what I mean? Like Tom does it. You know what I mean? Like Andrew's, he's a drummer. Like that's what he does. Vocals are that's what I do. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we've even messed with the idea of just me singing and having someone else play guitar, but they didn't really seem to like that very much. So, yeah. So now I'm stuck playing guitar, but it's good because it's forced me to get better, or try at least a little bit. Right. Which I want to. I want to get better, and I want to learn. It's just only, there's only so much time for me to do that. So, yeah. All those things. I mean, yeah, that's Those are all of the things that I like to do, and I always have. Actually, I just told this story again today. My father is he's a very American man. He's from Texas, and he's very just like, he has this quote that he always said to me growing up, and the quote is, "If it serves no useful function, it's art." And basically what he's saying is if there's no point to it, then it's art. And that's because he didn't enjoy it very much, right? Exactly. And that always used to offend me, because I was like, those are all the things that I love. And those are all the things to me that make life good, or all the things that aren't necessary to life, but the things that add to life and make it more exciting and colorful and things like that. But now I love that. I love the quote, and I use it now all the time, because not everything needs to have a function. Sometimes you can just do things for the sake of doing it. And so, yeah, that's I don't even remember what the question was, but I hope I answered it. Well, we went into the studio in Los Angeles for about a week and a half, and we wrote, 16 songs max, something like that. And then we were like, oh yeah, the record's done. And then we went back and we started listening to the songs more and more and more, and we're like, we can do better than this. We went back into the studio in Nashville this time, and we just basically did the exact same thing again, and just did like another session, and yeah, that's what we got. We got the full record. We weren't really happy with the full.
I mean, you always can do better, so that's what a great thing that you do it again.
Right. Yeah, it was a guy that we found on Instagram who basically does these like collages through magazines. Like he basically will cut out a bunch of different things out of a magazine and like make a collage of a new image of what he finds in the magazine. And it's pretty cool. But to me, what it represents is the hot air balloon is supposed to be like the freedom of you're floating over everything, and then there's the two hands with the nail and the hammers at any moment ready to self-sabotage your own fucking life. And that's pretty much me. Okay. I'm always right in between that line of like, feeling like, yes, I'm in control of everything, and then also like, exactly, right. Nothing. Honestly, nothing. Yeah, I just wanted to come and play. I think we all just wanted to come and play, and that was so. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't have any expectation as far as there being a bunch of people, or I don't have any expectation of selling a bunch of merch or a bunch of records or anything like that. I just, Exactly. And with Stick to Your Guns, it's like the stakes are a little bit higher just because we've been a band for so long, and I feel like for me personally, like I still have fun with Stick to Your Guns, but there's a lot more pressure, a lot added pressure that makes it seem like I don't know, not as just free to fail. You know what I mean? Whereas we could play a show and 4 people could show up, and that's okay. Whereas if that happened with Stick to Your Guns, that wouldn't be okay. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I that's what I like about it, that there's no expectations of anything.
I think it's better to not have any kind of expectation, because it can be disappointing.
Right. Exactly. No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's never really been discussed before, and I think everybody's side projects are so different. You're talking about the other people in Stick to Your Guns, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it would happen. I highly doubt it, but maybe it would happen one day. But yeah, exactly. Who knows? I mean, with Stick to Your Guns, I definitely have some like personal songs. I definitely, there's like songs like 56, and with Stick to Your Guns, it's a pretty personal one, like Left You Behind, and De La Nell, and all these. There are still some personal songs, definitely with Trade Wind. It's just like I'm using a different part of my brain with Trade Wind than I do with Stick to Your Guns, and yeah, I don't know. I think with Stick to Your Guns, it's the point is there's a different point. There's a different goal with Stick to Your Guns than there is with Tradewind, and so I think that's why. Yeah.
Okay, it's not like it is easy to just share your
No,
personal.
no, not at all. It's incredibly difficult, but it's hard. It's easier to do it through a song. Like if I need to say something to someone, it's easier to do it through a song than to tell them directly.
Yeah, exactly, because you just like write the lyrics beforehand, so it's just...
Right, exactly. I get to think about how I feel, write it, erase it, write it, erase it, write it, and then really think about it and then say it. Because I'm the kind of person who's emotional, so I say things in the heat of the moment, and a lot of the times that's really bad. So it's probably best that I don't talk to people directly, and I take a minute and I write a song and say it. Yeah. Yeah, I lived in Montreal for 7 years, I dated Quebecer for 7 years, and I lived in Montreal for Quebecoise for 5 years, and it's a really important place to me. It's close to my heart. It still is. I love the city. I love the people, and it was just such a big part of my life for so long, and I became very attached to it. I don't speak any French, even though I'm writing. I mean, there's certain things that I can understand, or let's say if I went to my ex-girlfriend's house and everyone's talking about something,
you wouldn't know.
I can know what they're talking about, and there's certain things I can pick up here and there, but I just wasn't confident enough to.
I mean, it's complicated. It's just a complicated language.
Yeah, it is a complicated language. And a complicated people.
Indeed. So yeah, you lived in Montreal, but it's not the same thing as in France.
Of course, yeah.
So do you have a special relationship, with France or French language, etc.?
I was just talking about this earlier, actually. I like actually the Quebec dialect better because it's like farmer. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
You must know what I'm talking about. You've heard it before.
We just feel the difference.
And tamaknak and
Yeah,
it's just like.
Just the accent.
And when I was there, I took so many, there's like those apps like Duolingo and things like that, and I would be learning French, and then I would learn it, and I would feel like I would get a really good grasp on it. But everyone in Montreal has slang. There's so much slang. Yeah. So I wouldn't even know, c'est quoi ça, it's just like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like that's not even, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm learning real French, but living in Quebec, it was.
I mean, it's a different kind of French. It's not the same thing.
Exactly.
We don't even understand what people living there just are saying.
Right, exactly.
We can understand it, so.
Of course. And so that's why, I was like, I'm trying to learn to like be better, because it's like, okay, I'm living in a country where French is the language, but it's like they're not even speaking French. So,
exactly.
But I do like it though, because it's like I find it charming. I don't know why, I just really, really love it. I think to me it's more, I don't know, I prefer that way. Yeah, I don't know why, but.
We don't really have an accent here. I mean, we have several cities and different towns of the country where we have accents, but it's not the same thing as in Montreal.
Of course. And I think even in France, it's different, right?
Yeah.
Parisians have a certain way as than people from, I don't know, Marseille maybe or whatever, yeah.
Exactly that.
So, it's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm always doing. I'm always looking back and going like, how could I have done it different, or what do I wish I would have done different, or things like that, because I feel it's important. I mean, I tend to focus on it maybe a little too much than I should, because you got to get to a point where you move on. But I try to look back and learn from the lessons back then. But then sometimes if you stay there too long, it'll drive you crazy.
Yeah, you just gotta let go.
Exactly. I have a hard time with that. I have a hard time letting go.
Same thing for everyone.
Right. But I think writing songs about it helps me get past it. But yeah, it is.
I just try to stay awake, 'cause the voices in my head are starting to speak language I don't understand.
I was writing, the song was written actually before he passed away because he was very, very sick. And I was, while I was in the studio, I found out that he had cancer in his lungs. And so it was a whole process of like, okay, I have to take care of that, you know what I mean? And I'm doing all the tests, and I'm paying all the money, and I'm doing everything I possibly can. Because when you find that out, you'll do anything. There's no amount of money you won't spend. I would have sold the shirt off my back. So I'm doing all that, but a part of me also knew like this is probably gonna be it. And so it was a very, very long road, and eventually got to the point where my vet, she was just like, look, we can spend money until you're living on the streets, but it's just not, you know what I mean? So you exactly, you gotta, like how you said, you gotta just let it go. She's like, I've seen cases, because in his like every week he would go back and it was a new issue. It was cancer, and then we went back, and then it was like his hips like were all fucked up, and then we went back, and then he got pneumonia, and then it's just like a new thing every time. And then she's like, I'll replace his hips if you want. We'll do everything. Yeah. But like she's just like, look, you gotta let it go. And so yeah, that was a tough thing for me. He was my best friend in the whole world. So, but I'm grateful. I was home, which is rare. So I was home, and I was able to spend that time with him. And then I had him for 11 years, and with a dog like that, that's pretty much the lifespan of those kinds of dogs. They don't really live much past that. So I got him for his whole life. You know, there's a lot of positive sides to it. But yeah, so that's my way of honoring him. And a lot of people ask if I'm going to get another dog, and
Are you?
And that's exactly my response is my dog is dead.
Yeah.
I had my dog. Okay. I had my time with my dog, and my dog is dead. So no more dogs.
Okay,
yeah.
You don't have to get another one.
Exactly. Right.
Nowhere to go,